Okay, so in this video, we'll be showing you the one-hit Obliterator trial. After you defeat all 4 divine beasts, go back to the Shrine of Resurrection at the very beginning of the game, and in the DLC you will find the one-hit Obliterator. So start off by getting a free inventory space and taking the one-hit Obliterator. So this weapon will, as in the name, it will one-hit obliterate any enemy, but it'll bring you down to 1/4 of a heart, and you will not be able to switch weapons. And after 2 hits, it will run out of charge, and you can't use it until it recharges. And you won't be able to switch weapons, as I said before, which means if it runs out, the only way you can deal damage is with bombs, shields, or bows. And you need to use these things very wisely, because throughout the Great Plateau, there'll be 4 locations with heaps of enemies. After you defeat all those enemies, a shrine will appear, and you'll have to complete the shrine with only 1/4 of a heart, okay? Okay, so the first location we'll be going to is here in the middle of the Forest of Spirits. So there'll be a couple of enemies around this log, as you can see. So yeah, mostly bokoblin enemies. So just equip a bokoblin mask or Majora's Mask, and let's get down to doing this one. Okay, so just remember there's a stone helmet over there as well, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, watch out for that, and we'll be closing in on the enemies. Just remember to watch out for the spikes. There'll be a couple of bokoblins up there. Watch out for the dude up at the top. This enemy here at the top will have shock arrows, so it'd be good to take him down first, and then slowly sneak up to the other enemies. And just remember to save all the time, since at any point you can die suddenly and it may frustrate you. So yes, saving is allowed and very useful and recommended strategy. And just remember to take this dude's shock arrows and just hide behind here for a bit. It looks like there is a couple of enemies behind me. And defeated that enemy with a successful sneak strike. So I will be saving at this point just for safety. And as you can see here, 2 Churchu enemies have just spawned in. I will be taking them down with just some normal arrows. A swarm of keys has just flying in and left. So just remember to watch out for them. Maybe use bomb arrows, take out as many as possible. As you can see there, another bokoblin has just noticed me. So we just used the one-hit Obliterator the second time to take out that bokoblin. And again, I'll be saving just again after most enemies. So you can see the swarm of keys is getting closer. Did miss me, luckily. And at this point, this bokoblin, I'll be trying to take him down. And after every enemy, just save, of course, since it is a pretty dangerous thing. And as heard just then, an enemy did notice me. I'm pretty sure there was a sniper with shock arrows, and seeing that enemy just found me and went up and hit me. So just watch out for that. So there's a chest here with some bomb arrows in it. Make sure I get it. And as you can see, this is a pretty tough trial. There'll be a couple of enemies all around. As you can see over here, there is an enemy with Also a swarm of keys. So this other enemy has noticed me, but I'll try to take him down with a smooth ice arrow shot. And then the one-hit obliterator to finish him off. I'll be saving as usual as again. Just cause if this trial is too tough for you, you can always just leave the Great Plateau to end the trial. Yep. So there will be a couple more enemies around the area, mostly bokoblins. And also another useful strategy is just getting some hide, just so you can see around. So, of course, I will climb up here and try to scout out the area for nearby bokoblins. From up here, doesn't seem like too much, but I'll be heading over to the marked spot in the map towards the trunk, because that is where the main section of enemies will be. And just remember to watch out for the swarm of keys, multiple other threats. And just use stasis. If you don't have stasis plus, that's okay, but stasis plus, you can just find enemies this way pretty easily, and other pick-upable items. Pretty useful. Doesn't seem like too much enemies nearby. Not really sure why, but there should be a couple just around the area. Yeah, so we're able to try to take those enemies out. Just getting some height, just in case. Doesn't seem like there's much more enemies, alright. But you'll know once you've defeated all the enemies, since a shrine will pop out of the ground with this big cutscene. Yeah, and just make sure to pick up some mushrooms and things around the area. Just because. Very important. I'll be heading back over this area just in case there are a couple enemies on top. Not quite sure where all the enemies are at the moment, but there should be some left. And also, if you've noticed, the champion abilities cannot be used in this situation. As you can see, in my inventory, I do have all the champion abilities, but they cannot be used as noticed. Also, you might notice that there's a silver bokoblin here, so we'll try to take him out. So as you can see, he's noticed me. The one-hit obliterator has recharged, if I remember correctly. And this will be able to take out that enemy and leave access to this chest here. And right now, the shrine has come out. Okay, so I've just entered the shrine. As you can see, I've never done this shrine before, so it should be pretty tricky. There are these metal spiky balls that will instantly one-shot you. It may take a couple of tries, but you just need to get across and be patient. And so in this bit, you need to equip the magnesis rune, and you'll get this metal cup, and you'll need to get a ball, one of those Sheikah balls, And also the chest is another pretty useful one to get. It might take a while, but once you got it, you need to slowly bring it over. And just carefully knock it into the hole just there. And that should unlock this chest. It is going pretty well. And in this chest will be a frantic bow. This, as you can see, it was an attack out 12 for me. Pretty useful. And again, you'll be needing to get this same cup, but this time we'll be trying to get the chest. As you can see, the chest over there. And you see, the chest will be launched up and pretty tricky to catch, but can be done. When you've got it, you need to bring it over. And open the chest. And inside this chest will be 5 bomb arrows. Pretty useful. And then this time I'll be grabbing the small Sheikah ball. As you can see there, the small one. Pretty important to get. So this one will be tricky to get, and might take a couple of tries. There we go, I just missed it, which was pretty frustrating, but it might take a couple of tries before you get it. You can see it's rolling past, so you need to get it at the right angle to make sure that doesn't happen. And I've got the orb. You need to slowly pull it over, make sure it doesn't roll off. And I accidentally messed it up then, so I'm going to need to get it again, which is also be frustrating again, but shouldn't take too many tries. I've got it again. Hopefully this time won't come up. You just need to slowly pull it towards you. Make sure it doesn't go off. And when you have done that, you need to keep it here. Bring it over. Okay, so just slowly bring it along. These metal spiky balls will be pretty annoying, but you should be able to avoid them pretty well. And you can see, I've got it over. Waiting until just the right position to get up. And right now, you have to get the ball with magnesis and carefully put it into the hole. And just like that, that should correctly open the door to the shrine, and you'll claim your spirit orb and complete the first shrine for the one-hit obliterator trial. Okay, so the next one we'll be doing is this one here, just above the Eastern Abbey, and yes, around this area. We'll be coming from the Great Plateau of Tower. It can also be done from Jabea Shrine, the bomb trial, but we'll be just showing it from here. There'll be multiple enemies. It'll be a tricky one, but we should be able to do it. Okay, so I've just arrived here. You can see multiple Lizardfast enemies. You can equip Majora's Mask or Lizardfast Mask. So as you can see, most of them around the area will be green ones. Doesn't seem too tricky. It does look like there'll be a Guardian up ahead, but we'll just be sneaking around. You can see Lizardfast has nearly noticed us. So that one has noticed us. We need to make sure that no other enemies notice us while we one-hit obliterate it. When that is done, we'll try to sneak up to the other ones. Also, just saving and the usual strategy for this pretty tough challenge. If this challenge is too tough for you, you can just leave the Great Plateau and the weapon will leave. You notice this all does looks like a pretty tricky challenge, but I will try some bullet time strategies here. And we'll also try some boulder strats first. And I'll try bullet time some enemies. Right here, I'll just be using shock arrows. So right here, this white enemy, I will have to one-hit obliterate that one enemy, and then this dude might be able to hit me right now, but so I will save right now first. And as you can see, the white Lizardfast had a flame blade, which is incredibly dangerous, but luckily I saved, so it shouldn't be tricky this next time, as when you respawn, the enemies will have not noticed you yet, and the ones you've already killed will have been killed, but the damage will not have stayed. So these enemies should be in a snake strikeable position, like that, as so, and right here, I'll just be using an ancient arrow on this tough enemy, and that will instantly defeat them. And if I remember correctly, the stealth should stay. So I should save just because. And again, as you can see, this enemy is right here. The one-hit obliterator is still powered at the moment, so that will be able to take out that enemy. Looting it. And this Guardian here has just activated. I will ancient arrow it since it is pretty powerful. I'll just be saving again. That Guardian could be pretty tricky, but for you, if you don't have an ancient arrows, you can use Stasis Plus and other strategies similar to that. As you can see, there's not too many enemies left. There is this one here, and make sure to watch out for all the spikes. And I just one hit obliterated that enemy there. And there shouldn't be too many enemies left in the area. But as you can see, there is an enemy over there. So, should manage to take that one out as well. And most of these enemies will have fire arrows, which might come in useful for you later on. As you can see, it's also because of bee honey there. But looks like there's only one enemy really left here. Just one hit obliterated that. No, and the shrine has just come out of the ground. I've just entered the shrine, and this bit you will have to magnesis across all these spikes. One of the most trickiest areas in the game, but just like that, you can make a path across without getting spiked. And the last bit, you'll need to just paraglide across, and you'll come into one of the incredibly difficult sections in this shrine. Okay, so this bit, the strategy is actually use stasis on the second cog to get across safely. So here, we'll just stasis that, get across safely, and onto the conveyor. So this bit, I'll just be waiting here until stasis has recharged, and then we'll be able to use that on these conveyors, if I remember correctly, and then you can get off safely. Okay, so I'll be using it on this conveyor here to get across safely. And here I'm into one of the most toughest sections in this entire shrine. You can't save in shrines. So for this bit, you'll need a stasis, one of these, and paraglide through without getting hit, which is incredibly dangerous, but can actually be done safely. As you can see, I executed that almost perfectly. Okay, sorry about earlier. This shrine, we had a glitch in the editing software, and we won't be able to show the rest of that shrine. And by the way, the next one we'll be doing is the one right here in the middle of this forest, near the old man's house. Okay, so there'll be multiple enemies around here, mostly bokoblins on horses, but with enough skill, and we'll be able to take them out. Okay, so we're closing in. You can see there is bokoblin on that horse, and 2 Laserfast enemies over there. So it doesn't look like too many other enemies. And as you can see, they have noticed me. The other Laserfast over there will actually not notice if we obliterate these enemies. Oops. I accidentally had ancient arrows equipped then, but that's okay. And the other enemies should not have noticed the murder happening just then, so it should be safe to head around. As you can see, two Laserfast enemies over there, one up on the rock, another one over there, and another bokoblin on horse over there, and another Laserfast enemy up on the top. So I'll be sneaking over to this enemy first. I'll go for sneak strike strat, but if that doesn't work, then we might just need to take him down with a swift hit. Just then, I did a headshot, and as you can see, there's another bokoblin over here. It survived the headshot, but we'll shoot it again. Doesn't seem like any other enemies have noticed. There is a lizard enemy over there and one up there. So we'll try to obliterate this one with no notice. This other enemy did not notice. And as you can see, there is a black moblin there. We'll recommend to obliterate that one because it will be tough to take over with just bows. You can see this moblin enemy is getting closer, so we'll just be obliterating that one and then saving because there shouldn't be too much enemies left. And just remember to get the loot of all these enemies that defeated. Up here, looks like there is one less fast enemy over there. Doesn't look like much else. I'll be looting all these enemies before taking out the last couple of enemies. And also looks like there is a chest up here, so I'll be taking that chest. 10 rounds. Also, the skeleton hostage won't actually be that bad. So this enemy here shouldn't be too hard to defeat. And there we go. I think that might be the last enemy, but not really quite sure. So I will be saving right now, just in case. So Shine hasn't come out of the ground yet, which does mean there is more enemies around the area. I do not see those enemies yet, but they might be hiding. So let's just take a look all around first. And just there, I do see this bokoblin that is there. Same for this one. I just defeated that one. And there you go. That was the shrine. So this shrine here is a major test of strength, but it's no ordinary one because as most people know, the one-hit Obliterator will instantly obliterate this major test of strength. And remember, it'll start shooting lasers nearly instantly, so just go away from that. And it was instantly destroyed. And that has some pretty good loot. So yeah, make sure to get that if you need it. Actually. And I'm going to check all the Guardian parts. Could come in useful later on. Yeah, so we'll be moving on. And if you notice, the end of the shrine isn't here. There's actually a switch, a button instead. So, yes, this button here will open up the area that the major tester of strength actually came out of, which will be pretty interesting to see. Multiple other Guardian enemies around will be pretty tricky, but not too hard to take out. So in this bit, you will just go down, and there will be heaps of different Guardian enemies all around. And and you need to collect a small key, and just look around the corners, because right there you can actually see the enemy. Remember to take it out sneakily. And same for here. The enemy will be up there. And this one here is actually Guardian Scout, which will be pretty good to take that one out. So just obliterate that one. Also, I just meant to check around all around the area, just in case. There's hidden secrets or chests. There is a chest on the other side, which we'll be coming back to. And this area, you can also use Triosis to make pillars to block Guardian attacks, which is a pretty good strategy. So this is where it came from. This time we'll go around this way, except you can't actually get around that way. Okay, so just coming around this area, and you can see there is a ladder up there, and the sound happened, which means you know there is actually a Guardian around there. So we go, as you can see again. There's another Guardian off on the top. So this bit, you'll just be going up this ladder, and you're on there. As you can see, there is a chest out there, and that chest will be very important to get. Since in this chest is a small key that will unlock the door that you can see over there, but you won't need to go there yet, because first of all, you'll need to go through this passageway here, and it will lead you to another chest, very important. And in this chest, there will be a giant ancient core, one of the most rarest items in the entire game, and is super useful. But next, we'll just be going back up the ladder again and over to that small door. We'll lead into this area filled with heaps of different Guardian enemies that will be very strong and hard to defeat, but with certain strategies, it might be able to do it. So I'll open this door, and as I said, heaps of Guardians will be around. The Guardians will spawn in soon. Okay, so as you can see, you just hide behind here. And take out the easy ones, hide behind here, make sure I can't get you. And when they go back down, it'll give you an opportunity section recommended to get an eye shot on this Guardian enemy here, and it will actually get knocked off and fall down. And then the next strategy is actually to sprint over here and then take some really risky shots from up here. You'll actually be able to do damage even though you can't actually see the Guardian Scout enemy. And when that happens, there will only be one left, and this is one of the most toughest ones. And just remember, to have lots of different arrows. I will just use one ancient arrow here just to finish off this guardian. When it will reset back to and the last guardian has been defeated, and it should unlock the door to the end of the shrine. And just remember to take all these things. Very useful. And proceed to the end of the shrine. Okay, so the next one we'll be going to is the one here, just next to Mount Hylia. We're in this area, in the snowy area, so remember to have some cold resistance and come from the Cranosis trial. Okay, so I'm heading to the top of Mount Hylia. As you can see down there, there's a lot of enemies down there, and it'll be really good to try to avoid them. As you can see, just take a closer look. There is an ice wizard over there, and looking closer, a black moblin, an icy Leziphos, another black moblin, a white choo-choo, 4 ice case, and that looks like it. So, if you know the cross rats, all ice enemies will instantly die when hit with fire. Just take out all the ice enemies using this strategy. Make sure you have a lot of fire arrows. To take out all of them. You might need to go a bit further down to get the shots in. Make sure to have lots of fire arrows for these enemies. Might be pretty tricky. And as you can see, there is actually a white moblin down there too, and 3 black moblins. And look further down, there is another icy Leziphos. So this actually will be one of the hardest areas. But if a well-timed ancient arrow can take down all the moblins. Then the rest of the enemies shouldn't be too tricky. So I will try to take out this ice wizard enemy again with a fire arrow. It's pretty tricky to take a good aim. And there we go. It's been defeated. So it looks like the only really tricky enemies left is actually just the ice. There's a foss down there. And the rest is just choo-choos and keys. So I will try some bullet time fire arrow shots on most of those enemies. And first of all, I'll save just in case it doesn't go right. I've come into position for a bullet time fire arrow shot. There, there, and the shrine has popped out because the keys and the choo-choos don't actually count as enemies guarding this shrine. This is a pretty dark and scary shrine by the looks of things. It looks like there's a lot of hard obstacles, but it shouldn't be too tricky. See, there's multiple moving lasers around the area, and it's pretty dark, so be interesting. Try to dodge. Section, just stuck onto these lasers. Nothing too tricky, and for the moving one, just run past. And here, looks like some fire obstacles may occur. Some slow-moving spike wheels. Looks like maybe we've got to go along across these. Slow and steady is always a good strategy, just in case. Yeah, these slow-moving spike wheels do look pretty dangerous, but not too hard to dodge. When you get to the exit, go up to these stairs. It looks like some more obstacles may appear. Going through these dark tunnels looks pretty tricky. As you can see, there's multiple fire rays. You'll have to time to get to them at the right time. They do look pretty tricky, especially since Link is only on a quarter of a health. And as you can see, there's some guardians. That just came in. Just shoot them with any arrow. They should die. Looks like there was another guardian there. Just make sure to watch out. By the looks of it, the end of the shrine is just ahead. This one was pretty tricky, but we did it.